As chairman, I'll call the Fire Protection Board meeting, September 10th, 2020, to order. First order of business is the minutes. I'll entertain a motion. Everybody received a copy, had a chance to review.
Motion to approve.
Say again?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved.
When you say motions, could you please just say the names, who made the motion, who seconded it?
Okay. Kevin W. made the motion the first. I seconded it.
And Kevin Griffin, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I see Bob Hollis just logged in, so.
Hi,
Good morning, Bob.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Bob. All right. We've already begun, Bob, but we're just accepted the minutes. All right. Next item on the agenda is the comments. Any comments, persons present today? Hearing none, we'll move right along. And we'll get to the DCP investigation complaint status report. Director Brown and Senior Inspector Hamill's online here, so turn the floor over to.
So good morning, Pamela Brown.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pamela Brown, Director of Investigations. Janita Hamill will be reporting out for this meeting.
Go ahead, Director, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, I think she gave it to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
This is Supervising Special Investigator Janita Hamill. I don't know what you all can see. I sent them to Karen for the most recent 2-month period, June 1st, 2020 to August 31st, 2020. We had one
yesterday. Sorry, Janita. So the board
no, that's fine. We had one Fire Protection Board case that was closed, 2019-1011. It was an anonymous complaint, and it was closed as unsubstantiated because there was no evidence, and the responding company has properly licensed contractor of record in place. There was an allegation that John Baxley might not be licensed, but he is. And that's the most recent that we have. The one before that, I think when we met previously, that had already been discussed because there was discussion surrounding, and I remember having this discussion with Chairman Waskowitz about Mr. Fellner, and that, you know, because there was an assurance of voluntary compliance, because the local fire marshal didn't, and the prosecutor did not want to pursue criminal charges, the department entered into a assurance of voluntary compliance, and he would have preferred that that had gone to the board as a report, and all it did was it carried over the John Baxley file into that report too, and that was from January 1st, 2020 to May 31st, 2020. And that is all that I have. I don't know if anybody has any questions, concerns, or anything.
Is Bob Hollis has a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we doing job site inspections at all?
We are starting slowly. We have PPE, and as it is determined to be necessary or a priority, it's discussed. And then if there's any instance where the staff or myself might not be safe, then we get there, we might be leaving. You know, I have to, you know, there's not a lot of social distancing or masks being worn. We've had inspectors out on a couple of projects already, and we have run into that situation.
Yeah, just wondering.
No, we're out there. We're slowly but surely getting out there, Mr. Hollis.
Good.
Well, I thank you for the report, Inspector Hamill, Senior Inspector Hamill. Thank you. I have no further questions. I don't know anybody else. And thank you for your time and Director Brown's time.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman. You all have a good day. Stay safe, stay well, and thank you.
You too. Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Director.
Bye, Chairman.
Okay, moving right along. Application report. We received, yes, I think it was yesterday or the day, whatever, the day before, but 6 names on there. Majority had Connecticut DOL certificates. So one had a local 669 completion. Any questions on those?
See, PSI is back in operation again.
They sure are, yep.
Good.
All right. I assume we don't have, you know, next topic is old business and backflow. Richard's not available, I assume. I haven't seen him log in or.
He's not on the meeting, no?
Say again?
I said he's not in the meeting right
No,
now.
no, I'm just saying. So, I mean, a lot of information on there. And again, I would recommend just tabling it till he's available because he sent these documents out. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to discuss on it? Again,
Yeah.
I'm still.
Question.
Say again? Kevin?
It's Kevin Griffith. Question for you.
Okay.
What brought this question up? What's going on?
All right, Ed, just to give you a little bit of history, I kind of lose track of time because of these quarterly meetings and everything, but I don't want to say the last meeting or, you know, a few months back, the issue came up where there was a question asked about servicing backflows or whatever, who's, you know, licensed, and Richard made the statement that an F1 or F2 cannot put a backflow in on a fire protection system, which it kind of piqued my attention, let's put it that way, because I can't see how an integral part of the sprinkler system cannot be put in by the fire protection installer. So documents have gone back and forth, whatever. Richard's maintaining, the Department of Health or whatever is saying that a P1, P2 has to install a backflow. So I would like to get some, you know, looking for further clarification myself, because I guess in my years in the business, I put in several backflows, and like I say, it's kind of, I don't know if I'd call it a catch-22 or whatever, but where you do all, you know, you put the valves in or whatever, and you leave a, you know, a spacer there for the, you know, have a plumber come in and insert the backflow. So that's, you know.
Makes no sense at all.
Right, basically.
It sort of looks like Richard sent, I read through most of that information, and it's obviously that everything, you know, kind of backs up what he was saying. So I would say we should ask Richard for that at the next time, or even before that, how do we get this changed so that a F1 and an F2 can
Well,
install?
Bob, I think that was in the last, in the minute, you know, whatever. Because
I did notice something that it takes a legislative change to do this. Well, we should find out about that and start working on.
Do you want to table discussion, or do you want to have discussion right now? Because I have a comment to make about some of the language in this information that Richard sent forward. Do you want to table it?
No, I don't. I don't think we have to table it, Kevin. I think it could be discussed, but I don't think I would table any further. Till like resolution.
Okay. Well,
I'd like to leave it as an open topic till it's really totally clarified. Go ahead. So.
Well, what I want to bring to your attention, and I think it may have to have maybe a legal person look at it. In the attachments that Karen sent out, there's an attachment called Backflow Prevention Device 2020, and it appears to be 2 pages in length. On the second page, the first full paragraph on the second page, it starts with fire protection sprinkler systems work. Means the layout, on-site fabrication, installation, alteration, maintenance, or repair of any automatic or manual sprinkler system designed for the protection of the interior or exterior of a building or structure from fire, or any piping or tubing and appurtenances and equipment pertaining to such system. I'm going to stop there. Could you consider a backflow preventer an appurtenance?
Yes, I would. My legal degree comes from Philadelphia. I call a Philadelphia lawyer, but yeah, that's why I maintain it's like saying on these multi-purpose systems, you'd have to get the sprinkler fitter in to screw the sprinkler heads in. It's the same thing. I don't see how you could carve out that one device and say a P has to, I agree with what you're saying, Kevin. It's a good point. It is an appurtenance. It's
an integral part of the system, complete system, to make it work.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. Well, that's what I wanted to bring to attention of everybody here. And I think we'll have to have a better conversation with Richard, but I would strongly suggest that, well, I would think that a backflow preventer in this case would be an appurtenance. So that's all I really have to talk about at this point.
And I'm not disagreeing with that, but what I'm saying is somehow or another, whatever it takes, we should identify this so you don't have to have a lawyer to look at something. It should be clearly spelled out that an F1 and an F2 can install these things.
Yeah.
As clear as it is saying that a plumber has to do it. It should be, right, clear and simple.
So what, Bob, you're saying is under Connecticut General Statute Section 20-330, we need to find out from Richard how to add the word backflow preventer into the definition or language or whatever, so it gets taken care of.
Exactly.
Properly.
Right.
Okay.
We shouldn't have to read between the lines to figure this out.
I agree.
Thank you for pointing that out, Kevin, because like I say, I've maintained all along. I mean, I kind of, like I say, the hair on the back of my neck went up when he made the statement that it's the work of the plumber, the P license. And I totally disagree with it.
Right.
But if you read the documentation, he's not wrong in thinking that. I mean, it's
no, he's not.
Every reference to a backflow preventer says P1.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But the two statements contradict each other. So I mean, it's like if they're both saying it can be done, which one is correct, or can they both do it, or whatever? So I mean, I would say yes. We'd have to let's after we discuss this, let's table this till we have Richard in the room and participate with the discussion and pointing out that fact that it's there's two conflicting statements here.
Right. I just want to remind everybody that us guys here, we're sitting here. When we say backflow, we automatically think of a RPZ or a double check on a fire line. That's what we deal with. A plumber deals with backflow devices on a whole lot of other things also, not just incoming lines. They deal with in hazardous areas and things like that, chill water, anywhere you have contaminants in the system. So, we zone in right bang, we go right into the fire protection line. But in this case, I think it's in the plumbing definition, it's more broad than just a fire line.
Right. There, and there's multiple devices. I mean, you know, there's vacuum breakers. There's all. I mean, it's like when I used to teach the apprentices. You know,
Yes.
the simplest form of backflow is an air gap.
Yes.
Believe it or not. I mean, you know, but I always used to say it's always kind of hard to shoot the water from one pipe to the other without getting it all over the floor. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know, it's like, you know, so I mean, you're right. When we think of, you know, we think of a double check, or, you know, an RP, or you know, or that type of device, you know, the various
Right.
ones that are installed on the fire line. But
Mhm.
I do firmly believe that it is the work of the F license. So like I say, till we get Richard into the room, and, you know, let's basically continue this discussion. We'll put it on the agenda for our next meeting.
I just want to, I think that we should ask Richard through Karen to investigate how we go about changing this verbiage now. Because if you wait, at least so that at the next meeting, he has that information for us. Because if we wait till the next minute, that next meeting, that's another quarter away.
Right.
Then we're going to discuss it. Then he's going to have to go do something. And he's going to come back to us for another quarter. This is, you know, we're 6 months down the road. We haven't gotten anything done. So
And you
why
might not
not
get
ask,
an answer for a year from now.
ask Richard? We all agree that the verbiage somehow or another should be changed. How do we go about doing that? So he has that information for us at the next meeting.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, Karen, can you relay that somehow to?
Yes. Oh, yep, I will. Yep.
Thank you.
I mean, if this takes a legislative change of some sort, you want to be prepared to do it in the next cycle or whatever, rather than having to wait until the next cycle or the next cycle.
Who's Karen? Who's in the legislative department at DCP? Who would work with us there?
It would be on Leslie Bryan.
Leslie O'Brien?
Yeah.
Would we have to go to Raul for this? You know.
I'm not sure. I would start with Leslie O'Brien.
Okay. All right.
If you wanted to contact her on it, and I will let Richard know that you're looking for input.
Right. Just give her a heads up, you know, that this issue came up at the meeting, and there's conflicting statements, you know. So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody in agreement and happy?
Happy.
Yeah, Kevin W. here. I think in the past, Richard's indicated that a regulatory change could be made interdepartmentally, like the commissioner can make a regulation change without going to legislation. So it might be a little simpler that way.
Right.
We don't have to wait for a legislature to meet. And to go to Kevin Griffin's point, I think that a backflow preventer, it requires a commissioning by an inspector, regardless of who installs it. The water company requires it to be tested and inspected before it's put into service by a registered inspection person, whether they work for the water company or whether they're private. And then further down the road, it has to be inspected once a year by an inspector. So I don't see what the problem is with having an F2 install them just out of the gate.
Yeah,
right. No, I'm not saying there's a problem. I'm just saying this verbiage needs to be cleaned up. So there specifically says P1, F1, P2, F2. So there's no question.
That would only be restricted to a fire protection backflow. Like Kevin Griffin said, there's a whole other, there's a whole other range of backflows that require a plumber to put them in.
I'm not questioning that. All I want to do is that a backflow preventer on a fire protection line should be installed by an F1 or an F2. I don't care about the other plumbing type stuff.
Right.
You should be able to read that pretty simply, as simple as the verbiage says backflow preventers have to be installed by a P1. It should say backflow preventers for fire protection systems should be installed by an F1. Simple.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
Well, like I say, what Kevin pointed out.
We shouldn't need lawyers to have to read into this
Right,
thing
that's-
to allow us to have,
I
be able to-
agree. Yeah, yeah.
I put kids through college putting backflow preventers, and now somebody's telling me I did it illegally? Really?
I don't think so.
And I shouldn't need a lawyer to defend that.
Right, right.
Okay. Moving along, the let's see. Next item I have is the NFSA course for multi-purpose or limited residential systems. The information has gone out. The course must have already begun because it was open online September 8th, runs through the 30th. 15 to 18 hours is required. The course cost was $475. There is a 10 on October 1st and 2nd. There's a mandatory 8:30 to 11:30 live virtual training. That's all.
We don't know. We know how many people signed up for it.
I talked to Dave LaFond last week. He did tell me the number, and believe me, I didn't write it down. Was it,
5 or 50.
No, it's closer to, I think, maybe 15, 18. I think that's the number somewhere. I don't want to say, somewhere. It's not 50. It's let's say it's closer to the 5 number, Bob.
So it's handled as a course. It's just it's handled as a correspondence course, and then there's some elements that are live, Zoom. Guess that's how it's being handled.
Yeah, so the online, like I say, you got to do the, I guess the 15 to 18 hours. And I'm assuming it's on the computer, and then the other one will be through a Zoom class like this. He did extend the opportunity for me to sit in on one of those virtual classes, or even the other ones, just to make sure if I get a chance, I will. So, yeah, you did afford the same opportunity to you, Bob. So.
Yep. No. I'm sure Dave will keep us abreast of that. Maybe, like I say, if I'm not clamming that day, maybe I can do it.
Yeah. I hate to keep using the COVID, but like I say, this COVID has really messed up everything. I mean, you just think back, there's no on-site inspections. We're holding these meetings and, virtual meetings. It's, anyhow, moving right along, new business. Anybody have any new business? Hearing none. Correspondence, Karen, any correspondence other than
No.
emails that you've sent?
Nope.
Okay. Any comments? Hearing none. Hope everybody's well and holding up under this circumstances that we're faced with right now. And do you, Karen, you get any word that you guys ever be returning to the office, or are they gonna?
We're in. I'm here actually today.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay.
Some of us can come in, a day or two a week, but I don't know when it's going to be. Everybody back. So.
Or if you ever go back.
If we ever go back, I don't know. I'm here. You can see the office view behind me.
How's it working out?
With being in the office?
No, I'm working from home. I mean, how do you think it's working pretty well for you or for the department?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, to me, it's nice to have a change and come in here. But yeah, either way at home, I mean, in here, the kinks are pretty much worked out for the most part. So yeah, I think everybody's used to it.
How about you, Kevin? How are you doing?
Good.
Kevin Griffith. Kevin Griffith.
Yeah, I think this is going to be permanent. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go back. Well,
you
my
come
unit.
in or you don't?
No, I haven't been in Hartford in months. I work out of my, I work out of my house.
Yeah. I
still have my car. If I have to do inspections, I drive down, get in my state car, and off I go. So it's just, instead of going to Hartford, I sit here and take care of all my work. with the new commissioner and deputy commissioner, our unit has basically gone paperless. So where we were doing plan reviews on paper drawings and things like that, everything has gone on the computer. So we use a program called Bluebeam. It's a PDF reader, and we do entire plan reviews on screen, zero paper.
Excellent.
So you know, I'm looking at a job now that has over 1,400 drawing sheets in it, and I'm doing it all on a computer, not a stitch of paper, nothing. The computer generates the reports. You know, we flag it right on. It's almost like a CAD, like CAD drawing. We're allowed. We can go on and make notations on the drawings with leaders and call outs, and then we can print out plan review reports and send them off to the design team, and everything's done electronically. So it's not like I have to be in the office and working on my plan tables, flipping through huge drawing volumes. I can do everything on the computer. So whether I do it at Hartford or do it at home, who cares, you know, as long as it's done.
Do you do much job site inspections?
I've been under a little different situation. Mid-July, my stepson received his third kidney transplant, and he's living with us. So with that being said, his immune system has basically been suppressed. It's zero.
Yeah. So you can't risk going out and exposing him.
No, you know, we can't even go to a store. You know, do everything curbside pickup, and if one of us has to go out and we have to, you know, we have contact with the public, when we get home, we have to launder our clothes and immediately take a shower before we can, you know, come into the house.
Wow.
He has no immune system. It's zero. So if he gets something, it's real bad.
Lights out. Yeah.
Yeah. So never mind COVID, just the general head cold would do him in, you know?
Well, we certainly hope that works out.
So far, so good. Yeah. Everything's looking very good.
Good luck with that.
Wish him
Thank
the
you.
best, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody got anything further? Nobody's been, hopefully, you're all healthy. Nobody's had any bouts with the COVID or.
Nope.
No, all good. You too, Dave.
Yeah, all good.
Well, Bob, it's kind of tough to catch it out there on the sandbars when you're digging for clams. So.
That's right.
He'll get clam COVID.
Bob's social distancing with a clam rake.
Pretty much everything here in our community is shut down. We, you know, been a pretty active community during the summertime with, you know, various community activities and kid activities, and all of that was all shut down the minute this started.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, the playgrounds were shut down, tennis courts shut down. That since has opened, but basketball courts, any of that kind of activities all got shut down for the majority of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, block parties, all of that shut down. We have in a community of a couple hundred families have had several cases of COVID.
You've had, yeah.
And they've all come from outside for the most part. Guy is one of the residents here is a stand-up comedian, and he did a show down in Florida. When he got it down there, he thinks brought it back here. Another guy went out, stayed in a hotel in Montauk. He's a shark researcher, and he was out doing some research out on Montauk, off Montauk, and stayed in a hotel, and he thinks he got it from that. So there's been a few cases here. Most of them have been brought in. They weren't year-round residents. So everybody's kind of hunkered down, going clamming.
Entertain a motion for adjournment if everybody's in a
Motion to adjourn.
second.
Kevin W. will second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Meeting
Aye,
adjourned
aye.
at 9:31. Everybody, you take care, and we'll see you in 3
You
months.
too.
Hopefully, we'll see you in 3
Thanks,
months.
everybody.
Yeah, stay safe.
Everybody, yep.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Karen. We'll see you.
I'm
Bye.
gonna start
Thanks,
the
Karen.
recording. You're welcome.
Thanks for your
Bye-bye.
assistance
Bye,
looking up
Karen.
there.